What you're going to need is something around or just below waist height, a little ball or some sort of an object like a towel rolled up, thick enough to where when you put it in between your thighs, you can still keep your hips in line with your toes and your knees in line with your toes and your hips. And you're also going to need a book about this thick. But what you're going to do is place the side we're working on, that would be the left side for me, which is the more forward and externally rotated side, place that foot on the book. The book needs to be big enough so that way your whole foot can remain flat. And then you're going to place that other foot just a half step in front of the other one. So that way the toes of the back leg are in line with the midfoot of the front leg. Take that ball, put it just above your knees and between your legs, bend both knees, and now put your hands on your hips and just shift back a little bit. You're going to hit a point where you feel a little stretch in the back of your hip right here. It's not hugely significant, it's just a bit. So bend both knees, find that stretch back there just a little bit. You should never feel any pinching in the front of your hip. What you will feel is a little bit of your inner thigh adductor muscle kick on right here. And that's good because that muscle is helping secure your femur in the back of the hip socket. So I'm here, leaning back a little bit. You can support your body weight now and just start to breathe into that position, in through your nose, out through your mouth. You might want to play around with a little bit of a posterior pelvic tilt to help keep your back relaxed and feel that stretch a little bit more. Throughout this, you want to keep your weight mostly in the heel on the back foot, but both feet are relaxed and they're flat. As you get better at this, you can start to oscillate back and forth like this with the ball. That's what it's there for. So you can start to push one knee forward, pull the other back, and as you do that, you need to stay heavy on the heel of the back leg, and you're really focusing on feeling that adductor inner thigh as you pull back, and then relaxing and moving forward. And you can do that for about a minute or two. From there, you can start to place your hands on that and get a little bit deeper into it and do the same exact thing. Just make sure you never ever feel a pinch in the front of your hip, because if you do, you went down too far. To set up for this, we're gonna be on our left side with a small towel roll underneath the left lowest ribs to get us slightly passively side bend to the left. And we also have a little towel roll about 3-ish inches thick underneath the lowest foot here, keeping both feet flat on the wall with the toes straight ahead at all times. So what we're going to do to start here is we're just going to get a very slight tuck of the hips, a little posterior pelvic tilt, and maintaining that, focusing on putting pressure into the wall with the medial arch of the right foot, which is the inner heel and the first met head right here. We're going to slide that right knee forward. Again, make sure the toes are straight on the right. And then we're going to push the knee up as far as we can get it without losing any contact of that right medial heel on the wall at any point. As he does this, he should feel his right lower butt cheek engage, and he should feel a little bit of his right outside hip where his glute med is too. He's going to sit here, breathe in through his nose, out through his mouth for about 5 breaths. If you're having a hard time finding your right glute, what you could do is just take a half step forward with the right foot and then just do the same exact thing. And that can be enough for some people to feel a lot more right glute. The other thing you can do is put a light band, very light, around the top of the knees, and that should give you just enough resistance to feel your right glute as you go forward and up. The most common mistake on this activity is that people are not going to push the right knee far enough ahead and keep it up. They're going to have that right knee drift back as they start to get tired, so make sure you're keeping it going forward and up, but not at the cost of losing that right inner foot arch. Make sure that's always the thing that has pressure into the wall, about 4 to 5 out of 10. The other thing is that people will try to slide their right knee forward via extending their low back, so make sure that you have that happy medium between keeping the hips slightly tucked and pushing the knee as far forward as you can without losing that hip tuck.